Do you think that the government should redistribute its citizens' wealth by forcefully taking money from some citizens through taxes in order to provide free goods and services for others?
Well, I think that the middle class does end up paying for a lot. So I don't really think it's fair to ask people who make a lot more money than me or other people, to pay the same amount. I don't think that doing just a flat tax rate all across the board is fair. And especially because, if you think about tax rates and the tax rates that did come out for Romney, the 13% tax rate for somebody who makes $250 million, I don't really, for somebody like me, is hard to understand. And I won't pretend to know all of the economics behind it because I don't, but it's hard to hear something like that when I do have student loans that I can't even foresee paying off at the moment. It's hard for me to hear something like that and say that that's asking certain people of a certain bracket to pay more. I can't see how that's unfair.
How much did Romney pay in income taxes on an average?
I don't know the number of the income taxes, the number wise, or I guess I could sit and do the math. But
there was
13.4% tax rate.
But how many millions of dollars did he pay?
I don't know exactly how many millions of dollars.
Well,
in taxes.
Yes, in taxes.
I could sit and do the math, but not off the top of my head.
So he contributed a lot to the U.S. Treasury, right? He paid millions of dollars as compared to you and me.
Right? I mean, it's relative.
But shouldn't we be grateful that he's supporting the government so handsomely?
Yes, but if you think about it in relative terms to the $250 million that he makes, and that's not really a fair assessment, because if I look at how much I make and the percentage of how much I have to pay in taxes, yes, I think that the way that you're looking at it, I just don't. To me, it doesn't add up when he makes.
Nobody's grateful, right, for him giving all these millions of dollars to the U.S. Treasury, when in fact he's supporting it more than the regular. I mean, he's paying like 40 or 100 times more than the average citizen, right?
Making 100 or 40 times more, as you said, than I do. So
that's true.
It should be relative, no?
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't think you're speaking in relative terms when you're asking me.
No, I'm asking in absolute terms because I'm trying to see who I should be grateful for the great government we have. The guy who's paying for it most are these millionaires who are making a lot of money, and they're paying more than anybody else, right?
No. I mean, not if you. I mean, in dollar amounts, yes.
But nobody grateful.
They make, well, it's not. I mean, but they make, like you said, they are adding millions of dollars more to the economy. However, they make, like you just asked me, aren't they adding 40 or 100 times more than you? Yes, but they're also making that much more.
So if they move to another country, or all these millionaires move to another country, who would pay all the bills here in this country?
Well, I mean, of course, it wouldn't exist. That's unrealistic. However,
your taxes would have to go up, right?
Yes. You asked me, though. Can you refrain? I'm trying to get back to what you asked me earlier. You asked me how much I make, correct? A little earlier, or?
I would never ask such a confidential question.
It's just, well, again, you asked me if it's fair, right, earlier. You asked me if I thought it's fair. They were asking people who make a lot more money, correct, to pay more.
I was just wondering why apparently nobody's grateful to these millionaires who are supporting the U.S. government handsomely.
I don't think... It's not that. Like I said, let me go back to what I said earlier. It's not that it's not grateful, but like I said, it's hard for somebody who makes so much less. I don't want to put out how much I make. But let's say somebody who makes $30,000, okay, and it has to pay, at least 10% more in taxes. If somebody who makes $250 million, like I said, and in a time where I have to pay a lot of student loans in a very expensive city, it's just hard to understand. And like I explained to you, I don't understand the economics that well, but it's just for people in my position and in worse positions, I just think it's hard to understand.
If it weren't for the Romneys of this world, you'd have to pay a lot more, right?
Like I said, I don't understand the economics.
Well, if they left, if they weren't paying all this money, then you'd have to pay more to support the government.
I suppose so.